Danny DeVito is a name everyone knows. He's funny, he's talented, and he's been in Hollywood for a long time. But there's more to him than just acting. He's also a director, producer, and filmmaker. Now, he's stepping into the sports world with Game 7, a brand new basketball docuseries. But before we get into that, let's take a look at how Danny became one of the biggest names in the entertainment world. A small guy with big dreams. Danny DeVito was born on November 17, 1944, in New Jersey. He wasn't very tall, only 4 feet 10 inches, but that never stopped him from chasing big dreams. As a kid, he didn't act much. In school, he only performed in one play, playing St. Francis of Assisi. Acting wasn't his first choice. In fact, he first studied to be a hairdresser. He worked at his sister's beauty salon before realizing that his heart was somewhere else, on the stage. He decided to take a risk. He left hairdressing behind and joined the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. It was a big move, and it changed his life forever. The road to Hollywood. Like most actors, Danny started small. He took whatever roles he could get, appearing in small plays and low-budget movies. Then, in 1975, he got his big break. He played Martini in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a film based on the famous book by Ken Kesey. The movie was a huge hit, and Danny's performance got people talking. Suddenly, Hollywood started noticing him. But it wasn't until Taxi that Danny became a household name. From 1978 to 1983, he played Louis De Palma, a rude but lovable cab dispatcher. The show was a hit, and Danny's performance won him both an Emmy Award and a Golden Globe. People loved him, and he became one of the most famous comedy actors on TV. More than just an actor. While Danny was enjoying success as an actor, he also wanted to do more. He started directing episodes of Taxi, and soon, he moved on to directing movies. His films include The War of the Roses, Matilda, and Duplex. At the same time, he became a producer, working on films like Aaron Brockovich, Along Came Polly, and Be Cool. Danny wasn't just acting anymore. He was running the show behind the scenes. In fact, he co-founded his own production company, Jersey Films. This company helped bring many hit movies to life, including Pulp Fiction and Garden State. A career that never slows down. Even after decades in Hollywood, Danny never stopped working. He continued acting in movies like Big Fish and When in Rome, and he voiced characters in animated films like The Lorax and Smallfoot. He also became a fan favorite on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, playing the wild and unpredictable Frank Reynolds. But Danny didn't forget about the stage. In 2012, he starred in The Sunshine Boys in London and got great reviews. In 2017, he made his Broadway debut in The Price, earning a Tony Award nomination. No matter what he does, acting, directing, or producing, Danny always gives it his all. A passion for filmmaking. Danny DeVito has always loved telling stories, whether it's through comedy, drama, or now, why Danny DeVito wanted to produce this. However, Danny DeVito may not be the biggest sports fan in Hollywood, but he knows a great story when he sees one. When he first heard about the idea for Game 7, he knew it was special. The series is produced by DeVito, along with hockey legend Mark Messier, and tells the stories of famous Game 7s from different sports. DeVito says he was drawn to the project because Game 7 isn't just about sports, it's about life. We all have our own Game 7 moments, he explains. Times when we have to step up, take a risk, and give it our all. For him, one of those moments was his first night filming Taxi. He remembers walking into his dressing room and finding a note from the show's creator, Jim Brooks. It read, "If you don't do good tonight, you'll be eating SH tomorrow." That was his Game 7. He had to prove himself, or his career could have been over before it even started. Now, through Game 7, he's telling the stories of athletes who faced that same pressure. On the biggest stage comes with the weight of a championship on the line. One of the most dramatic episodes covers the 2003 American League Championship Series between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. This game was a defining chapter in one of baseball's greatest rivalries. With the Red Sox looking to finally overcome the infamous curse of the Bambino, they took a 5-2 lead behind a dominant performance from Pedro Martinez. But the Yankees clawed back, forcing extra innings, where Aaron Boone sealed the game with a walk-off home run. It was a crushing moment for Red Sox fans as their team fell short yet again. Meanwhile, Yankees fans celebrated another legendary comeback, adding to their team's storied history. Not only level and the Oilers cementing their dynasty. On top of that, basketball's heart-stopping intensity is captured in the episode featuring the 2006 NBA playoffs clash between the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs. This Western Conference semifinal was a battle between two of the league's best teams, featuring stars like Dirk Nowitzki and Tim Duncan. The game went into overtime, with Nowitzki leading the Mavericks to a dramatic victory. It was a defining moment in his career, proving that he could rise to the occasion under immense pressure. But that's not all. The series also highlights the 2016 World Series Game 7 between the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians, one of the most thrilling baseball games ever played. With the Cubs trying to break a 108-year championship drought, they build an early lead, only to see Cleveland mount a stunning comeback. In extra innings, Chicago finally secured the win, ending the longest title drought in sports history. It was an emotional victory that brought generations of Cubs fans to tears. Lastly, the Docuseries revisits the 1994 Stanley Cup Finals, where Mark Messier led the New York Rangers to a Game 7 victory over the Vancouver Canucks, ending their own 54-year championship drought. These stories, filled with triumph, heartbreak, and unforgettable moments, define Game 7 as a must-watch for all sports fans. The emotion behind Game 7. What makes Game 7 so special? It's not just about winning or losing. It's about what it takes to get there. Mark Messier, who is also an executive producer on the series, explains, Game 7 is when everything you've worked for comes down to one night. The pressure, the excitement, the fear, everything is at its highest. It's the greatest form of reality TV in the world. Even people who don't usually watch sports get drawn into a Game 7. The energy is electric. The stakes are sky high. It's not just a game. It's a moment that defines careers and legacies. And that's exactly why Danny DeVito wanted to make this series. A story bigger than sports. DeVito believes Game 7 is about more than just athletes. It's about anyone who has ever faced a moment where they had to perform under pressure. Maybe your Game 7 isn't on a basketball court or a baseball field, he says. Maybe it's a big job interview. Maybe it's proposing to someone. Maybe it's standing up for yourself when it really matters. We all have our own Game 7s. That's what makes this series special. It's not just for sports fans, it's for anyone who has ever had to fight for something. Danny DeVito and his family's role. This project is also personal for Danny. His two children, Jake and Lucy DeVito, are producers on the series as well. They've worked together under their family production company, Jersey Films 2nd Avenue. Danny has always been passionate about storytelling, and now he's passing that love on to his kids. Working on Game 7 together has been a family effort, and it's something they're all proud of. Final thoughts. In the end, Game 7 isn't just about sports. It's about determination, courage, and the moments that define us. Danny DeVito may be best known for making people laugh, but with this docuseries, he's showing a different side of himself. He's proving that no matter what field you're in, acting, sports, or life itself, everyone has their own Game 7. The series premiered on October 22nd, 2024 on Prime Video. And whether you're a diehard sports fan or just someone who loves a good story, this is one you won't want to miss. Because as Danny says, there's nothing like a Game 7. If you love epic sports moments, Game 7 is a must-watch. Don't miss the drama, the comebacks, and the history-making plays. Make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more amazing sports content. See you next time.